Welcome back to the workshop, guys. All right, so I finally found it. I found a vise that I like, it has features I like, and it's suspiciously cheap. I've actually been looking for a vise for a couple years now. Not completely steady, but I keep checking on Facebook Marketplace like every couple of months. So we're gonna take and pick this thing up and we're gonna restore it, make it look new again, basically, and go from there, because I need a vise. All right, let's get to it. All right, vise restoration. First thing is I gotta take this thing apart, and I gotta do this quickly before I gotta go to work. That certainly could look a lot better. Ooh, now I see the problem. It's busted off there. This could be interesting to try to fix. And that explains why it was so cheap. The red you see on the bottom of this is actually not rust, it's actually a primer, and it's a pretty stuck on heavy duty primer, so I did decide to leave a bunch of that on, as I don't think I could provide such a durable finish. But of all the gnarliness and rust and grime, what worries me the most is those welds. Can you see how bad those welds are? Not that any of mine have been any good, but we're gonna try for better than that. Something that at least holds. Mine are usually ugly, but they hold. All right, let's go over a couple things. This I don't think was original. I think somebody did that in order to fix this previously, so I'm gonna kind of copy that. I know it would be nice to put a nice V-notch in here. However, I'm already worried about my tungsten getting in there far enough, so I'm hoping to just get really nice beads on the sides and on the ends. Now, onto the TIG welding. This is actually a rod for stick welding, but it's 100% nickel. So according to Tony, no, not that Tony, this old Tony, this will work. We just got to modify it a little. Now according to this old Tony, this stuff contains a lot of minerals and vitamins that are good for the metal. He did it without it though, so I'm going to do it without it. He had success, I'll be lucky. There's a little on there, maybe a little flavor for it. So let's go see if we can mess this up, and then I'll have to make one from scratch. Alright, this is one of those things where you really don't want to do it while someone's watching. So, me being as smart as I am, I'm going to do it while everyone can watch. And yeah, with that being said, I got it set about 80 amps on AC. AC is supposed to help stir it. We'll see if that's true or not. And yeah, no faster way to screw it up than to dive in. Like and subscribe. Oh yeah, I also don't have a pedal with this. And I just recently heard that's important. So I'm going to do it in small sections. Also, I'm going to throw some heat at this first. From my understanding, the heat is supposed to help it keep from cracking. I did heat this up in the toaster oven first, but I'm applying heat to it again so that way it keeps it warm. Alright, so I put it in its own little heat house so it would cool down nice and evenly. My welds are no better than theirs, but hopefully they hold better. Usually that's how mine do. This stuff is a pain to weld, I'm telling you. Alright, so I'll take and I'll clean that up. At least it looks like it's adhering to the sides, but we'll see. I might just end up making this out of metal. You know, I've seen several tricks on taping off metal parts. Some of them will just grab it and tear. Some people like to do this where you hit it. Metal, rubber, your choice. I've also seen where people hit it with a file. For me, nothing makes me feel as good as just taking a nice sharp razor and making a nice crisp edge. Sure, your is faster. If I didn't care, why would I be painting it? I guess at the end of the day, do it your way. Some of these edges I'm forgetting intentionally because I'm hoping that's going to add a little bit of a gap when it gets painted. I might have to sand that a little bit, but I'm hoping it'll make it a lot tighter for these fixtures on here. The color pattern that I'm trying to shoot for in the end when it's all said and done is similar to my logo. It didn't quite turn out there, it kind of turned out more Jurassic Park-ish, but I still like how it turned out. This is where I'm actually really nervous because if I do the coat uneven, it could turn out really bad. But no one will find out. This is powder coating paint, by the way, and if you don't know what that is, I'm about to tell you. So it's when you're applying a powder coat as a paint, and then you cure it with heat, and it provides a really durable finish. Now I did initially have problems when I was trying to coat this, and that the coating would not take when I first tried applying the green. And I tried this several times, I checked my ground, made sure that was good, and I just could not figure out why it was not taking it. So I ended up deciding to take and heat the parts up, and then they took the paint. This is a different method. There's two different ways of doing it, so it's alright, but I don't know why. Hey guys, don't forget to like and share. It helps out a lot. Alright, let's get back to it. So a little more about this powder coating process. If you look right there, you'll see a ground clamp, and basically this thing's using static electricity to make this powder cling to the part. Then once it's on there, you bring it over to the oven to bake it. Now it's similar in paint in the fact that you have a primer and you have your color coats and then you have your top coat. You can kind of have some translucence, and you can see that reflect here where I took and did a lighter color underneath, so that way it would create a lighter green and a darker green. And this is where I'm finishing up with a clear coat. If you notice, I do have a fan and a filter on it, and that's because you don't want to breathe this stuff in, as well as I have a mask on my face.
A little super glue.
I thought super glue would be a nice addition here because of the fact it provides a nice black finish as well as it prevents it from rusting. Alright guys, sorry about the poor audio. This is the new shop and it's pretty echoey. It's not a permanent shop, but it's one that I get to use right now, so I'm very thankful for that. Anyways, time for assembly. Just a little layer of grease. This is a much better fit. Wish I had some locking nuts. Let me check. No lock washers, but I found washers, so that's good. Now, I'll be completely honest. I don't know if my welds are going to hold up or not. However, I figured it's worth a shot for a few dollars to give it a try. And then I'll try the harder solution if it doesn't work. But I'll let you know, and I'll probably take and put in the description on how long it's been and if it's still working or not. And hey, if it does fail, maybe I'll do a part 2. Believe it or not, these are actually Torx. They are not Allens. Some spots for tighter fits. Alright, so why do I like this so much? There is the aspect that I can take and hold things like a vise should, right? Pretty simple. So the next thing I like about this vise is the ability to loosen this up and then turn it. That gives you a lot of different dynamics on how to be able to work on your stuff. Now when you clamp this, it does stop that from turning. Next thing I like, that a lot of vices don't have, or they have very poor ones, is the pipe jaws. I really appreciate how beefy these ones are in compared to most vices. Then you have this thing on the bottom. I'm not sure exactly what it'd be for, but it seems like it would be very useful to use. I could definitely picture having something big around. And that doesn't fit very well in there, but would be able to fit in there very nicely. So yeah, for a junk find, I think this is going to be a nice vise for a really long time. Of course, any sloppiness you've seen in the demonstration is because I haven't been tightening stuff down so I can articulate it. I think the only thing that I wish it had, which when I get it on a permanent fixture, I might add to it is the ability for the entire thing to pivot like that. So almost like it would be on a big hinge and it'd be able to pivot up. And that way you could take and easier hold big flats of sheet steel like this, flat. Right now you can hold it this way or this way. And yeah, technically I can get this in the jaws, but I would like it to be able to hold big pieces. All right guys, well I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, keep creating.